And like you said, just getting boots on those expo floors and talking deals. That's what I've been missing.
Dude, yeah, you and everybody else, man. You and everybody else. So very thankful for everybody that's joined us here for PBE Live. And please go into the chat box, get some engagement going. And this is why we brought in the next thing. We are going to bring in our friend, the man, Neal Turluck. He's going to tell us about news and information. He's been researching what is really going on in gold, copper, silver, the actual supply, actual demand. Is lithium the new oil? What's going on with this thing called graphene, kind of a superhero among minerals or elements? And so let's bring in Neal. Turn his video on. He's going to go. We're going to step away. Me and Skips will be watching. He's going to deliver some news and information for everybody here, and we are going to open it up for discussion with everybody involved. There's going to be some interesting things and parallels, I believe, for everybody here. So we're going to step away. Mr. Neal.
News and information. First off, I want to thank Bell Geospace and ESG for sponsoring this episode of the Permian Basin Experience Live. And we'll get into what's been going on in the world with metals, with copper, with gold, with silver and platinum, palladium, rhodium, all of it. In the last 6 months, you've seen metals prices across the world skyrocketing. Everything's gone up by at least 60% across the board. And gold has hit its highest as it's ever been, market price for 1 troy ounce being over $2,000. So it's a pretty big deal. With it, it comes with a certain price. There's a lot of economic uncertainty with the US dollar. With trillions of dollars that have been put into our economy through a fiat currency pumped by the Federal Reserve, people do not have faith in our current economic system. And with that comes inflation. And that inflation is driving people to put their money into something that can escape the loss in value that comes with inflation. So people are buying bullion, they're buying hard assets, they're buying gold, they're buying silver, they're buying all these metals and putting their money into that so that it will hold its value. So the value in the gold and the hard asset itself will not lose value like our US dollar may. So with this, the gold prices are going to go up. They're going to stay up. The analysts across the world are seeing all of these metals as a safe haven. And we should see what should be a renewance, like Doug was saying, in the mining industry for precious metals. So we see that Barrick Gold, the exploration and production company for gold, copper, silver, and everything else that comes with it, was currently given some sight by Warren Buffett with Berkshire Hathaway. He bought 21 million shares of the gold mining company worth roughly $564 million. So right now, Berkshire Hathaway owns about 11% of Barrick Gold. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange is a commodity trading exchange. They trade everything from pigs, cows, wheat, corn, crude oil, and also precious metals like gold and silver. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange in the last few months has had record high trading levels for gold, silver, copper, among all the other precious metals. And the client base that they currently have is still trading futures at record highs and record values. So in looking forward, silver has been trading at a 7-year high. And that's due to the uncertainty in the financial system, the opportunity cost that comes along with the hard asset versus something like bonds, whereas bonds are trading at a historic low, even lower than what the current inflation rate is. Meaning if you hold $1 today, it'll be worth less than $1 will be in a year. Whereas silver will hold its value or potentially even increase in value versus the US dollar. So that's motivating a lot of people to put their money into industrial metals like silver and copper. Copper is being seen to be what is the metal that will lead the green revolution. It is used industrial to create everything to transfer energy. It's in every wire, it's in every car, it's in every manufactured piece of electric moving equipment. So the world's largest economies are using copper to build this green infrastructure for solar, wind, geothermal, and everything that's used to move electrons. So copper will be the premier metal in the future as we're seeing ourselves transition from what is currently a combustion resource to a more sustainable green resource. So with that, you know, where does all this come from? Where do we get all this copper, gold, silver, molybdenum, everything that's used to transfer green energy, to transfer solar into, you know, not a burner at the house, but a electric burner at your house? You know, we've got the Pebble Mine in Alaska, which is the greatest resource in the United States of America for heavy metals, for all the metals that we need to finance our daily lives and to procure for the green revolution, as well as the Back 40 mine in the Upper Peninsula. These two resources are going to be a great resource for the metals and mining looking forward. But with all of that comes potential pollution. And there's been big opposition from Wisconsin and from Native American tribes in Michigan, because if something were to happen catastrophically, downstream communities that used rivers nearby, as well as Lake Michigan, have great fear in case tailings dams breaks or leaching occurs from all of these safety measures in place from the ore bodies that are being mined. But there's great economic value. The Back 40 mine is pretty prolific. There's an expected from drilling that's occurred, 512 million pounds of zinc, 468,000 ounces of gold, 51 million pounds of copper, 4.5 million ounces of silver, and 24 million pounds of lead. So as this resource is being developed, it can help supply the U.S.'s need for metals in the future. But the Pebble Mine drowns out everything else that exists. It is the largest resource in the world that is undeveloped for precious metals. And, you know, with that comes great responsibility. The Trump administration reversed an Obama era position saying that the Pebble Mine is going to be too much of a burden on the area. The surrounding Alaskan area in Bristol Bay is one of the biggest fisheries in the world. Over half the world's annual wild sockeye salmon catch comes from the area, and it helps support over 15,000 people with jobs. So if that were to be impacted by something catastrophic happening at the Pebble Mine, it could create, you know, hundreds of millions to billions of dollars worth of damage to the salmon fishery, if it even were to ever come back, if something terribly often happened. But the Pebble Mine has hundreds of billions of dollars worth of metals sitting in it at current market value. There are 6.5 billion tons known from drill core of ore that are waiting to be developed. And that includes 57 billion pounds of copper, 71 million ounces of gold, 3.4 billion pounds of molybdenum, and 345 million ounces of silver. There's also inferred to be palladium, rhenium, and, you know, an even more prolific amount of copper, gold, molybdenum, and silver, not to mention all the ancillary metals that'll come with it. So this resource is truly world-class, and it'll help provide America to be independent of the South American mines if and when it's able to be developed. And there's two ore bodies, Pebble West and Pebble East, that are currently being looked at and explored. They're kind of low-grade ore, but with it is just a prolific amount of ore. It is gigantic on a scale outside of the human mind. So, you know, there's a beautiful picture of bornite and chalcopyrite, two sulfide minerals that are copper-bearing. But we've got copper, we've got gold, we've got silver, we've got everything used to transfer electrons, to transfer electricity. But what do we use to store it? What do we use to make electricity active in our houses? And that's lithium. Lithium is being seen as the future of the energy industry. Is lithium the new oil? Lithium gives humans the capacity to take energy, put it somewhere, store it so it can be used later, with that being, you know, batteries. So near the Salton Sea in Southern California, there's two plates that are coming together, and those continental plates are colliding, they're crashing, they're crushing, there's heat, there's pressure, there's temperature, and in that are brines that are being created. There's water down there that's being superheated to over 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and with that, it carries lithium from the subsurface. That lithium can be extracted from a bunch of hydrothermal plants, geothermal plants that are in California. And this lithium that is being brought up with these brines could be California's next gold rush. Berkshire Hathaway Energy says that those properties alone, those 11 plants, could produce 300,000 tons of lithium carbonate a year. In 2017, the entire world produced 43,000 tons of lithium. So these hydrothermal plants could create more lithium and match or even exceed the supply that the world needs for lithium, for all of these batteries, for everything that we need to store and use electricity. The Cauchari Alaras mine down in Argentina was slated to begin operations in 2021. This mine itself could generate at least 40,000 tons of lithium per year starting in 2023 once it's onboarded. But that was before the coronavirus pandemic. And the South American region that's known as the Lithium Triangle between Chile, Argentina, could create more than 60% of the world's annual lithium production. So outside of the US, again, South America has some really great mining potential. But with lithium, with the heavy metals, with all of that, you know, always looking forward to the future. What could be better? What is the thing in this world that is even more than just lithium? Then what can we use that will be the next step? And the world seems to think, some people seem to think graphene. Graphene has been seen to be the greatest electrical conductor without as much heat being transmitted, which heat is one of the worst, or one of the worst influences in destroying battery life. So graphene has the ability to charge 5 times faster than lithium. The battery life is going to be 3 times longer, and it can hold 5 times as many cycles as a battery than lithium does. So graphene is what could be seen to replace even photoelectronic voltaic cells for solar power. It can be put almost anywhere that is exposed to sun, and with that, it'll collect and be able to transfer electrons, electricity faster, more conveniently than the current system has in place. The biggest holdback right now is the technology around graphene and our ability to use it. So that's the news, that's what's happening, and that's a look into the future. And I want to send it back to you, Troy.
Nice, look at that. This is graphene from a core.
Look at that.
What you got there, Skip-O?
Bang.
That's a
Coming in hot.
fold, man. That's some deformation going on in this
Oh,
graphene. So that's
Dude,
it. That's how
the
it looks. That's how it
folds.
physically looks. That's how it physically looks. If you can find it close enough to the surface, and we can explore for it efficiently enough, graphene, which is incredible power, can be put into this process. So can we help the lithium charge and these gigafactories and everything that Dirk is about to tell us about? Can graphene be intertwined in that and allow us to keep increasing the efficiency of the battery technology and what's coming? So that's really, really good. I like the way you ended it. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of information. Skip-O, you got anybody from the audience with good comments, questions? Anybody wants to come in, talk about this?
Let me check. Looking at the folds, some nice comments, but nothing as of now. But I think graphene is fascinating. I don't know enough about it to like make any hot takes, but
You're seeing its crystal structure right in front of you.
oh yeah,
Bang, bang.
There it is.
So where are like the primary areas this is being mined right now? Is there any insight on that, Neal, or?
There is, but not immediately available.
Okay.
Arizona for sure. As Troy has his hand out some.
That's right. We stumbled our way into some here. Arizona's got a word or a seat at the table in that for sure, Skip-O. Another incredibly world-class mine that's happening is Resolution in Arizona. That's an incredible deposit there. You brought up Pebble. That's definitely in the news. Man, there's so much going on in that information and everything that we could talk about. I love the way we ended it, and it's a good segue into Dirk's show. What do you got, Skip?
I think Dirk's show is going to be a very good analog for this question from Elizabeth. She asked, how do the costs compare from sourcing graphene to lithium? And I think, that is out of my pay grade, but I think we got a guy who will probably know. Yeah, that is a very good question.
Oh man! All right, Neal, I'm gonna make you back into an attendant, if you don't mind.
Don't mind. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Bell Geospace, and thank you, SG and Skips. You're looking good. How's is that Utah or Arizona today?
No. We're at Arches today.
Arches, wow.
We're at Arches. I was at a lake last time. Now I'm at Arches.
The Wi-Fi is incredible out there, Skip.
Yeah, you're living the dream, Skips.
It's great. It's like 110 degrees right now. I'm dying, but the good news is the Wi-Fi is fantastic.
Can't beat the scenery.
See you,
Can't
Neal.
beat the scenery.
Adios.